What up, y'all? Welcome back for part 2 of the MyNBA setup. You know the deal. Let's just jump right into it. What's good? It's your boy King Sim Kits here, back again with part 2 for you guys. The first video, we covered a whole lot. We're picking up where we left off. So in this video, we're focusing more on the team aspect and getting that foundation together in terms of our unit, our front office, which will make a huge difference down the road, as you'll see. Now, the first thing that I always do is visit my staff. On the top right corner, you'll see available budget for hiring new staff. And here in the middle, you'll see your department overview. This is the overall health of your current staff and where you can make some improvements. And here on the left, you can see all the individual attributes of each coach. Of course, at the top, you'll see all your hired staff. And there's even spaces beside those coaches where you're able to hire even more if you have the budget. What I really like about this year's game is that coaching really does have a huge effect on the players and how they perform each game. And this is the fun part of creating that sim experience you're looking for by really diving into the ecosystem of your organization and not just purely relying on the performance on the floor. In the sports medicine department is a huge X factor in maintaining fatigue, injury rehab, and just overall player health. So it's a really fun thing. In addition, your staff even have their own badges, their own skills. So it's important to balance it all out and kind of find out your team needs. If you're running with the Lakers, you might need to spend more money on the sports medicine department. In contrast, if you're running with the Rockets, since they're a young team, coaching might be a much better investment. The next thing I do is go to the roster, and I want to just get a basic understanding of who my personnel is before I do any rotations or lineup changes or anything. I just want to know player stats and attributes, badges, and what the strengths and weaknesses are on my team. And this factors into my matchups on the floor and when injuries or fatigue occurs, like who's going to be the next man up. So it's important to just know who down the stretch can get us over the hump. And their hot zones is another thing that I'll use to curate the playbooks later, which I'll touch on in part 3. Next up, we have coach settings. Super important. Adaptive coach engine. Not the best thing in the world. I like to have a little bit more control. But hey, if you like to run with it, by all means. Leaving some of these things on auto is fine for me. Substitution method, rotation, that's cool. Offensive play calling, I'll leave it on light. Just these things are pretty much to your liking. You can always go back and make changes. Just try things out, see what fits and what works for you. And finally, we have finances. So this is the big thing down the stretch, especially if you're playing multiple seasons, if you're making trades, if you plan on doing a rebuild, you're going to need a budget to do so. So you're going to have to bring in revenue. And it's reminiscent of the old MyGM mode where we're able to allocate the funds towards staff and player payrolls. And here you can just weight things differently depending on what your team needs are. And even further, we're able to take control of the pricing and bringing in more revenue by adjusting the prices on tickets, parking, merchandise, concessions. And it's a really cool feature, but it might not be for everybody, So just play around with it. You can always turn it off if you don't like it. Now that's it for part 2. Hopefully this has helped some of you get a good grasp on getting set up. Part 3 is going to be amazing. It's actually my favorite video. It covers everything that I do before actually playing a game, and you don't want to miss it. So make sure you like and subscribe, comment below, man, and I'll see you on part 3. Peace.